I mean, just change the mentality a little bit. I think offensively, we like what we're doing. We're getting open looks. We need the shots to go in that haven't. But defensively, we need to just have a mentality that we're going to get stops. Whether that's the second possession of the game, the eighth possession, the last possession. So we've worked a lot on defense yesterday and today. Obviously, it's stuff that we need to improve on, and I've been saying it a long time, they have great energy, great activity every day in practice. And then for some reason in the game, it's like they get wide-eyed and freeze or don't have the activity that they normally do. So I don't know how to get them, just to feel comfortable. I don't know if it's pressure. They're putting too much pressure on themselves. And I told them, I said, nobody needs to feel pressure anymore. Are you scared to lose? We've done that. Are you scared to turn it over? We've done that. Are you scared to miss a shot? We've done that. Like, you've done the stuff that you could possibly be scared of. I said, now, if it breaks it out into a fist fight or something like that, sure. But usually they stop it pretty quick. So I don't know why they look nervous, scared, other than probably just pressure. Obviously, a lot of these guys, well, not a lot, some of the guys played on last year's team that won 29 games. And they probably thought coming in they're going 29 games again, and maybe they're just putting too much pressure on themselves. I've known from the get-go it's different. Every year is different. Every team's different. You could have everybody coming back. Doesn't mean you're going to be as good. Doesn't mean they're going to gel as well. You could have everybody coming back off a terrible team and be great. You don't know. And so I just want them to start enjoying basketball again. I've told them, you could have been playing basketball since you're 5 years old, at least. Devontae hasn't, but most of them have. And you guys have all been dribbling. You've all been making shots. Just go back with your instincts.
You talk about that defense, and it seems like it's the three-point shots that have been. Is it teams just getting hot, and has it been kind of some bad luck in that sense too?
A little bit. We watched film of the beginning of the second half of the Delaware game. We fought back and made a two-possession game at half, and we needed to get some stops, and they scored the first 7 possessions. And one of them, I said, this possession is on me. I said that we didn't have to worry as much about number 11, Walker, shooting threes. He's made 1 3 against all the rest of the competition except UNCW. And against UNCW, he's made 3 now. But when you're putting a scouting report together, they have Daly, they have Allen that are making all these threes. They have ball screen stuff, so somebody has to help. I said, let's help off 11. And now, of course, he made the 3. So, yeah, Bryant made 4 for 4, 2 for 2 each game from 3. And he's shooting 21% on the year. So, there's certain things that, Jay Estime is not shooting a great percentage, and he had 5 or 6 wide open looks and didn't make any of them. Jeffrey Gary was shooting a good percentage. He was shooting 40% from 3. He was over 5 from 3. So, it is what it is. I've said it before, nobody's feeling sorry for UNCW around the league. I think they've had quite a few L's over the last couple of years, and they're coming in trying to get a win, and they're not going to feel sorry for us. And some people are going to make some shots they normally don't. Then they've missed some shots they normally make, but that's us too.
You go up to Elon on Thursday, and you weren't here, but that building has kind of been a house of horrors for UNCW. 3 years ago, had a chance to clinch a regular season title, lost. It just hasn't been a great place for UNCW. What have you seen about Elon?
They make shots. They make threes. They have 4 returning starters, maybe. They got 5 guys that are almost averaging double figures, every starter. They have 2 seniors, 3 juniors, or vice versa, 3 seniors, 2 juniors. So they've got guys that have been through it all, And obviously, a few years ago, if they beat UNCW when they could have clinched, they must have played well. Coach Matheny's been there a long time. He's worked for Coach McKillop a long time, so they run some similar type stuff. They have a lot of nice movement and actions to get open looks from 3. People know they're going to shoot threes, and when you come into games with this game plan, you want to shut down the 3. Well, they know that too, and they got all 5 guys that can shoot it, and they got different actions that you have to defend against, because you don't want to give up wide open layups. Now, if they want to shoot a 16-footer instead of a 3, that's fine, but that's not what they want to do, So they do a great job running their stuff. It's like people come into the game probably wanting to stop Devontae, you know. And do most teams stop him? I don't know, a lot of times he stops himself because he's on the bench in foul trouble. You know, I mean, he's averaging 18.5 points a game. I mean, their sole game plan, my guess is not to say, let's let Devontae get his, because if they do, he's going to score 8,000. You know, like he shoots a great percentage. You know, so it's just basketball, and they do a nice job playing basketball, and it's hard. I mean, they make some tough shots. You know, I think some of the threes we give up are wide open, usually in transition or off turnovers. When we play half-court defense, a lot of times we are there to get a hand up, and they make it. I mean, it is what it is.
Quick turnaround then Saturday against Northeastern. I know it's a quick scout, but in the first time you've seen these guys, what do you know about Northeastern?
I know the coach. I know a couple of their players. I don't know what they do. I haven't even thought about Northeastern. Really haven't thought much about Elon because I've been working on our team since we got back. Obviously, I've watched Elon play 2 games just over the last couple of days, and are familiar with their personnel and what they do. You know, but it's going to be like that the rest of the year. You know, Thursday, Saturdays. You know, I sort of like actually having we can get into a normal routine now. You know, as opposed to when we got back from Christmas break, we played 5 games in 9 days, and it's like bang, 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 bang. And in the non-conference, you never knew when we were going to play. I mean, we could have back-to-back games and not one for a week, and then we're on the road for a month. You know, so now, you know, whether we're traveling, coming back to a Saturday game from a Thursday game, you know, it is what it is, and we just got to be ready for it.
You guys handle Drexel. They go off and beat Charleston. You look at this league, you guys might be behind the 8 ball, but there's still a chance. I mean, you go out and have a good performance, you could conceivably go off and beat any team.
Sure. You know, I think the league's wide open, more wide open than people had originally thought. Now it's because Charleston lost 2 games on the road, which a lot of good teams are doing. You know, teams that are ranked in the top 5 in the country are losing back-to-back games on the road. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you get on the road, those teams feel more comfortable at home. The fans are into it. They make some more shots than they normally do. You know, all those kinds of things. But, yeah, the league's wide open. You know, as long as we just keep getting better defensively. That's been my whole worry for the last month and a half. And we show glimpses of it. And I even told him yesterday, I said, 3 possessions, you're really good. And then 3 possessions, you're not. You know, like, we need it to be 5 of the 6 or all 6. You know, there shouldn't be lack of concentration. It's a basketball game. Like, your goal is to do the best you can to be successful, to have a chance to win. And our margin for error is not real big. So we have to be really good and in our right spots and have correct positioning on the defensive end to have a chance.
You talk about not worrying so much about Elon today, but worrying about your team. Is there a frustration in that you're still working on those things in January and not being able to scout as much on teams?
I mean, I guess a little bit. You know, who that falls on, I have no idea. It might be all of us. It's just a whole transition to everything. You know, I'm new at this. They're getting used to it. But like I said, in practice, like if anybody comes to a practice and watches us, you're like, man, they're active. They get after it. They play hard. And then you could watch a game and be like, wow, does this team practice? You know, so sure, there's all sorts of frustration. You know, they're frustrated because they want to be playing better. I'm frustrated because I want to be doing a better job. You know, so, but the good news is nobody's taking it personal. Like, we get along, you know, like, you know, there's no frustration on the court per se in practice. Like, they're all trying to learn. They're trying to let it sink in and doing what we ask them to do.
You made any phone calls to coaches or back to Coach Williams just saying, hey, were you ever in a situation like this, and trying to get advice?
Yeah. You know, I have talked to Coach a couple times, and, you know, just some buddies. A lot of times they text me. You know, it's funny that they seem to know when I play more than I know when they play. You know, maybe it's because I'm just so wrapped up in this and so worried about my team, and they're getting more wins, and, you know, they're like, oh, I wonder how CB's doing, or I know how they're doing. You know, like people tell me, but you know, they all just say, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, you know what you're supposed to do. You know what it's supposed to look like. You've learned a lot, and, you know, you got to lay the foundation. It's going to come in time, and all those kind of things. And it's nice to hear. It's reassuring, but it doesn't help today. You know, it doesn't help. You know, in those 2 hours that we're in the game, thinking, okay, well, we are getting better. They're going to know exactly what to do next year in year 3 and year 4, those kind of things. Like that doesn't really help me too much right now. If it does work out, yeah, I'll look back and say, yeah, I guess I did the right thing.
You finding your demeanor on the sideline changing?
Yeah, a little bit. It depends on sometimes how the game's getting officiated, how we're playing, what I think I need to try and do to get them going. I usually don't like to have to coach every possession and yell every possession and tell them what to run every possession. That's just not what I've done. I only coached the JV team at Carolina. Now there was 7 people in the stand, so I really couldn't say anything too loud or they'd hear every word I said. But I just let them play more than anything, and they just sort of figured it out, and we ran some stuff. But I'm having to do more of that than I had originally anticipated. But that's because those guys I coached on the JV team just only had me. That was it. There was no previous system, previous defenses. Because even like when we put in a zone defense, they get confused and do some movements like they used to think, yeah, we used to do that for the last couple of years. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, okay. I get it. Like they're conditioned to do certain things, and I'm conditioned to coach a certain way.
Does it seem like this is not your first time coaching? You've been on the bench with Coach for forever.
Yeah.
But as a head coach, do you see sometimes that you got to kind of have to earn respect from the league and some of the other teams that people may say, he's a first-year coach, he's got to go out and earn that?
Maybe. I don't see it that way. That's maybe what people can think, or from the outside say, okay, they're not getting any calls because they got a rookie coach or something like that. But that's not how I take it. That's not how I think they're treating me. But it's like you watch a game, you think something about number 10 that I don't think. Like everybody has a different opinion. I just feel like I'm learning on the go with everything. How to react to certain calls, how to react to my team, how to get them fired up. Some kids' motivation is different. And everybody on the team. And the more time we'll spend together and the more years we'll be together, I'll be able to know exactly what pushes certain people's buttons. Devontae and Jalen are different kids. You got to treat them differently. I try and treat everybody fairly, but obviously I treat people differently based on their personalities or what I feel might work best for them.